Good morning. It is about 6:15 and I just left camp, and it was supposed to have been around 45 this morning. Yesterday when I stopped for lunch, I actually got cold and had to wear this rain jacket for a while, but I warmed up quickly, and I'm not complaining because this is really nice hiking weather and good sleeping weather, and it's definitely preferable to sweating while you're trying to go to sleep. I slept fairly well. There were some other hikers that came in, but they were very quiet. And I think I saw about 3 other tents this morning in addition to mine and the other guy who's section hiking. And I will go through Penmar Park today, which I'm assuming is the border between Pennsylvania and Maryland. They will have restrooms and a place to throw out my trash, so that will be nice. And real live running water that goes through the pipes. I'm not sure how many I'm going to do today. My choice is to go 14 point something to one shelter, which I can't remember the name of, something like Tumbling Run, I think, or to go another 5, which will really push it. I think it's 5, but that will get me closer to going into the hostel the next day. The hostel is called Thru, and I believe it's affiliated with a church, and I'm only going to stay one night there and then move on. I am really pondering why I'm not seeing that many more hikers, and I'm not seeing anybody I know. Are they all barreling down doing 20s? I don't like getting into camp at 2 necessarily, but I don't want to hike until dusk, and I don't want to kill myself and have legs and feet that are hurting, and I want to, be able to take a more leisurely pace, feel comfortable stopping for trail magic if it's there, or even just taking lunch, or stopping to take a break at a stream or something, or a view. So I guess that's what's uppermost on my mind. Am I where I should be? Am I doing too much? Am I doing too little? Where are my people? Not that I really have people. On my last hike, I felt like there were people that I was consistently running into, and they knew me and I knew them. And if I wanted to go eat with someone in town, there was someone I knew, but now I don't really know anybody. So I'm sure there is a purpose, but I was thinking this morning how much I enjoy hiking alone. I know that a lot of you can't understand that everything's better with a friend, but I do have a tendency to be a loner. I like to think. I like to make my own decisions, and surprising even to me, I'm fairly independent. Coming from a home where I was controlled, told what to think, what to say, what to do, brought up to question everything I do, question my own reality. If I say I'd like to be a Girl Scout. No, you don't want to be a Girl Scout. We already had one Girl Scout in the family. Oh, okay. Guess I don't want to be a Girl Scout. Or I want to take a gymnastics class. Nah, you don't want to take a gymnastics class. And stuff like that. So, I am free. He who the sun sets free is free indeed. And this is not saying anything about my marriage or Bud, because he supports me in whatever I want to do. We enjoy each other. We can be alone together if we need to, because we're both introverts. We both need to recharge, but we enjoy spending time together. But I think being out here, since I have a tendency to say, I don't know, what do you want to do? Now I have to make the decision. I can't just say, well, you decide. And it's been very good for me in building a little confidence in my own reality and my own decisions. And this is one reason why I feel it's good to hike alone. You're not dependent upon anyone else. And if you've been dependent on people all your life, it's a liberating experience just to see that you really can do it, or that you really do have opinions. I'm not saying that you have to get away to do that, because I can hear the peanut gallery now. She's going out there to find herself. No, I already done found it. Found myself. Actually, I found Jesus. And that is where my real identity lies. So, I miss my husband very much. I'm looking forward to going home to see him and our life together at home. But I guess what the point is that if you want to come out here and hike alone, do it. Don't let people say, you need to take somebody with you. You can't hike alone. You need a hiking partner. No, you don't. You don't need a hiking partner. You are safer out here than you are safer in the city. And that's a fact. So, I guess that's my 2 cents rant for today. I know there are still going to be people out there who are going to be all judgy. But go ahead. It's all right. Because you know what? After I finish Blessed Are the Misfits, I'm going to read Unoffended, so I can learn how to be unoffended and let all of the nasty, snide, judgy comments roll off of my back. And let all of the comments from people who want to control me or who want to have me be the way they want me to be, because they're right, of course, and their way is the only way to be. And I'm going to learn how to be unoffended. So, I guess that's it for the morning rant. This is Rebound, signing out. And by the way, if you want to dance in a circle, dance before the Lord, and have a prayer meeting before supper every day, before supper and breakfast, go ahead. You do you. I think that's great if you want to do that, but just don't expect everyone else to do it. And on that same note, when I was staying with the 12 tribes that morning while I was waiting for Anav to come pick me up and take me to the trail at 6:30, there was a woman coming from the main house, and she had a coffee and some green tea. I've had their green tea before. It's incredible. They were doing trail magic on my first hike. at one of the gaps in the first section. But anyway, I digress. I saw her, and she offered me something to eat. She could get me something to eat. But the point is, she apologized for looking tired. And I assumed, correctly or incorrectly, that that meant she just couldn't muster up the social, or she couldn't muster up the smile, because she was probably an introvert, and her body battery was probably at 2. Because they share everything, they do everything together, they pride themselves on being friendly. Maybe this poor woman just needed to chill, to go in her room and be alone and not have to force social when she didn't feel social. She did mention that she had been helping with the breakfast, and I can only imagine what an ordeal it must be to cook a meal for that many people, because it's a whole community. I don't know how many there were, but my heart just went out to her, because I know what it's like having had to force social, force a smile, force friendly, when I was just introvert tired. It is so hard. And there have been so many social gatherings that I backed out of at the last minute because I was so tired and anticipating the social. I couldn't make myself go. I just could not make myself go. And I just shut down and canceled. Had nothing to do with the people. It's possible I might have even been looking forward to the gathering, because I do enjoy social gatherings when my body battery is full and I am in the mood to do social. I enjoy it very much. But there are some times that I just can't do it. And I just wish people would allow others to be who they are without being judgmental, without thinking they need to do this or they need to do that, or they should be this way or they should be that way. You know? This is what most of the bear poop I've ever seen looks like. It's usually not well formed, and it's just like a big plop of soft serve ice cream. But I think raccoon poop looks similar with all of those seeds in it. What do y'all think? Is this bear poop, or raccoon poop, or something else? Here is some food for thought, and I most likely will not respond to your comments about this subject, but I would really like to read what you think. If you all want to debate amongst yourself on this topic, that's fine. Just keep it kind and respectful. Bud is my moderator, so if it gets out of hand, he can just hide you forever, and no one will ever see your comments again. Back to the 12 tribes, and before I begin, I just want to say that I don't have an issue with instruments in the church, and I play an instrument. I don't see anything in the Bible prohibiting instruments in the church. That said, when I was at the 12 tribes, and I was in my little cabin, and I could look out my window and see their big tent, I could hear their electric guitar, and I could hear Miriam playing the tambourine, and I could see them dancing. And I'm not inherently against dancing. It looks sort of like a square dance type of dancing that I could see. where they were swinging their partner. And so I'm sitting here thinking, I mean, granted, I don't know if the point of it all was to have some merriment before supper, or if it was to gather as the apostles did in Acts and share some time together in the Lord before their supper. So, that said, what if there were no instruments in that setting or any other setting? Would they be dancing, tapping their feet, swaying back and forth, waving their arms? So is that an act of worship, worshiping in spirit and truth? Or is it an act of the flesh? Is it the flesh getting moved by the music? Because let's say they were singing hymns. Would they be swinging their partner to hymns? And I'm thinking of other churches also where they do this sort of thing, where they're sort of dancing in place. Would they be doing that if there was no instrumental music? Is it wrong to do that? To praise the Lord in a fleshly way, with your emotions, with your body? I know David danced before the Lord. I'm pretty sure there was some music playing in the background, some instrumental music. Just curious what your thoughts are on this, especially in light of the fact if you take the instruments away, what have you got left? Can you get riled up to worship the Lord in a physical way? Would you, if there was no instrumental music? Just posing that for thought. And furthermore, if there were no instrumental music, let's say it's one of these big mega Baptist churches, if there wasn't a concert before the sermon, would the people come? If they only sang hymns where the words were rich and the focus was on the words that were mostly about Jesus and what he did for us, rather than the pleasing music, would people come? Would those churches be as big as they are? If you couldn't have a coffee bar and take your coffee into church, would these churches be as big as they are? Or are the people coming for the coffee bar and the programs and divorcees for Jesus, or karate for Jesus, and all of the other programs? I'm just throwing this out for discussion and thought. Okay, sorry, I guess I'm on a roll here. I have met Christians who think they have to be a certain way so that people will want what they have. That they dress a certain way, they seem to have it all together, they got a fake smile plastered on their face. Who knows what goes on in their home before they get to church? At least that's the way mine was. And how do I want to say this? The emphasis is that you have it all together if you're a Christian, if you are a good Christian. if there's not something wrong in your spiritual life. I mean, truth be told, we all have things wrong in our spiritual life, and if you think you don't, you're deceived. Because other people can see it. Some people can see it if they've got discernment, and I can't remember if I've already said this, but I heard someone say once that God gives us discernment not so we can judge the person or tell other people about it, but so that we can pray for them. So my point is, I have had a troubled past, and those kinds of Christians who seem to have it all together all the time were no help to me. They judged me rather than loved me where I was at, and I was excluded. I was not part of the clique that had it all together. And to tell you the truth, I didn't want anything of what they had, because it all seemed so fake to me. And to me, it was not loving. Jesus talked to the prostitutes and the tax collectors and the faulty disciples. That's who he hung around. And he helped the blind and the lame and people who had demons. He didn't hang around those who were perfect and thought they had it all together. So, I guess that's all I had to say about that. I don't really remember where I was going with all of that, but it sort of ties in with the other stuff, I guess. I guess I'm trying to say that Jesus didn't shun the people who didn't have it all together. He wanted to help them, and he loved them. He didn't condone what they were doing if they were living in sin. He just said, go and sin no more. Your sins are forgiven. So, I guess that's all I have to say about that. I am web blazing this morning. It is a most pleasant temperature. I went through a bunch of boulders, and I'm still in Maryland, not Pennsylvania. Now the trail is flat and smooth, and I'm still debating on whether I want to stop at around 14 miles or push it, because all of those rocks and boulders I went through, if I had decided to go to the next shelter and do, I don't know, I think it was over 20, I would have had to have gone through all that, and that is the point, that you never know what you're going to come in contact with if you decide to just go a couple of miles. You're already really tired, and you get slowed down to 1 mile per hour, and it ends up taking you 5 hours to get there. That is no bueno. And it's the thing you have to constantly weigh when you decide how far you're going. So I don't know if I'm going to stop at around 14 something at that shelter, or try to push on another, I don't know, I think it's about 5, it would be about 19 or 20. If the trail is flat like this, I could probably do it, but if it turns into rocks or climbs, I don't want to do that, and I'm feeling tired. I felt tired yesterday toward the end. My legs and feet have been hurting, and maybe I need a short day. The further I go today, less I'll have to go into the hostel tomorrow. So these are just things that I'm thinking about and things that I'm weighing. slow. It's about 11, and I've really not seen anybody on the trail except one day hiker going south and one section hiker going south. Beginning to wonder if Jesus has come and left me behind, because usually I have people passing me going north, and lots of day hikers and section hikers and even some southbounders have passed me already. I am pretty close to the shelter I was going to stop at, and I'm going to get there very early. I've even stopped to take about 3 breaks and to have a snack to try to kill time. But I'm going to get there really early. And I really don't want to go on because I'm just tired. My feet and legs hurt. Feeling a little down today. And that's that. There's a little park up here that I think I'm going to stop and have lunch at. I don't have much of a lunch today. It's just going to be a couple of peanut butter packets on a tortilla. And the last 2 days I've had tuna on a tortilla. That gets really old after a while. And I've had quite a few snacks today, so I guess that is it for the afternoon report. I am at Tumbling Run Shelter. I think I've stayed at this shelter every single time that I have attempted a through hike. They've got this nice tenting area with all of these tenting pads and a fire pit and a picnic table. Privy. Another fire ring. Double shelters. And a covered picnic table. It says that one shelter is for snorers and the other is for non-snorers. Hello, I did 14.2 miles today. I decided to stop at this shelter for many reasons. The first of which is that I've stayed here at both my other through hike attempts, and I really like this place. It's very clean and well kept, and the tenting area is very nice. The water is also a pipe spring, and it's easy to get to. I got here a little after noon, and I started hiking at around 6. So the next shelter was it was a little over 6 miles, so that would have made about 20 for the day, and I just didn't have that in me. I was running really low on energy. My feet and legs were hurting, so I just decided to call it a short day. I mean, 14.2 miles is not a short day, but I did stop, early. So I have already eaten my supper. It's 3:10 now. I was able to answer all of the comments on my YouTube channel because I have cell service here while I was eating, so that was nice. And it's a nice sunny day, hasn't been too hot, so it's just been a pleasant afternoon. Tomorrow I will have about 9.6 into my next hostel, and I guess that's about it for today. This is Rebound, signing out.